Fans, this is Andrew here to do another post-fight analysis. This post-fight analysis between Adrien Broner versus Vicente Escobedo. Let me start by saying Adrien Broner, he's very similar to Mayweather when it comes to the shoulder roll defense, and his counter straight right hands and his check left hooks are very similar to Floyd Mayweather. Only thing I would say that he doesn't do as well is throw that right hook like Floyd has learned in his, later on in his career. He's a very good body puncher, though. I give Adrien Broner that. I can see why he's a problem for most people who try to box him. You're not going to be able to outbox Adrien Broner. I feel that Ponce de Leon did a very good job when he fought him, but that's for a whole nother topic, whole nother story. Let's stay on topic. Vicente Escobedo, he gave a valiant effort. A pretty good effort. He tried his hardest. He was using his jab very well, but a boxer's not going to beat a supreme boxer. Even though Escobedo made it to the Olympics or whatnot, and he didn't medal, but he went to the Olympics and tried. I feel that it just wasn't enough. And when you have somebody like Adrien Broner who throws so many combinations, he stands right in front of you and does his thing, it's very hard to beat somebody like that. His defense is very, very good. He has a very strong, upper torso area, so most of the shots that he was throwing, he could block them off with his shoulders and his elbows. In that defense that's very, hard to break, you can't hit him. It's been seen in the Ponce de Leon fight that, I'm going to talk about it later, that he, was landing in the southpaw stance. Vicente, he was throwing punches, but he was so, wild. He wasn't, closed in with his left hooks and stuff. He landed some good body punches, I will admit. But if you're going to beat Adrien Broner, you have to throw angles, overhand rights, uppercuts, and everything else or whatnot. Adrien Broner, he's going to make it far in this sport. I'm going to let everybody know. I know boxing pretty well, so I know that, his defense is going to take him a long way. A long way. His cockiness, it is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it's good for the sport, so I have really no problem with it. It was just kind of funny how he was going to propose at the end of his fight to, I guess it was his girlfriend or something like that. And he said, "No, I'm too young." It was funny. He brings a lot of comedy to the sport. The guy is funny, man. You must just be uptight if you don't like him on that note. But I just want to see him back it up, man. If you're going to talk all that stuff, at 130s, you have Diego Magdaleno you could have fought. There's so many people. Don't say you dominated that division or you cleared it out. Eloy Perez was on cocaine, coked up, man, and he was undefeated, but who did he fight? Who did he really fight that was credible? So, come on now. And he didn't fight any of the Japanese guys. If you're going to clear that division, you have to really clear the division at 130. The number one guy, I think, is Taishiro Auro or something like that, IE. I think Hasegawa fights at 130, if I'm not mistaken. Still didn't fight him. I think he got a title as well. Roman Martinez from Puerto Rico, he didn't face him. And that guy's undefeated, and I think he has a title as well. And like I said, Diego Magdaleno would have been a great fight at 130 with Adrien Broner. His style, styles make fights, and Diego Magdaleno is a good boxer, puncher, but he can fight. The dude, digs down deep and stuff. So that would have been a great fight. But it's okay. I understand he's 22 years old, and your body will tend to, grow up on you. You start getting bigger, and he has a crazy work ethic. Let me throw that out there first. Adrien Broner has a crazy work ethic. I watched a lot of his workouts online, and the guy has talent. This guy works really hard on his defense and his shoulder roll, and I call it a Philly defense because that's where it comes from. Roger Mayweather and them really taught Floyd well with it, but it really originates from Philly, if you guys did not know. That defense where you keep your left shoulder high in the orthodox stance and you tuck your chin, that's a really good defense when somebody's throwing crazy wild punches and they're not throwing angle punches, just straight. Most of them are straight punches. You can pick those off with your shoulder, and that's what makes that defense so special. Is if you have a strong upper torso, you can really block a lot of shots with your elbows too, because he kind of throws his elbow and tucks his shoulder too, so he can block a lot of those shots, and your opponent can't get that close to you because of that elbow and that forearm coming out. He uses this really good jab. I call it a stab jab, and that's what they kept calling it throughout the fight in his corner. That jab stops your opponents in his tracks, and it allows you to throw combinations. It's basically like a jab right here. When you get hit right there in this area, it really, really, really affects you, and it stops you in your tracks. And then the person can throw combinations either back to the head or back to the body. And that's something that I saw that was from experience, all those amateur fights and pro fights that Adrien Broner has. He kept on throwing a lot of jabs to the body, left jabs, left hook. He threw a couple right uppercuts that missed. He landed 1, 2. I think it was in the 3rd or 4th round. But that's one thing he needs to get better with is uppercuts. If I'm going to critique him. And he throws a lot of combos. You guys got to give him credit. Like, this guy is not a boring fighter whatsoever. Like his counter, his reflexes is amazing. That's what makes him special. And you can tell that he's very comfortable in the ring. The ring is like his home. You can tell. Like, he loves his job. He loves to box. And this guy can box, man. He's going to be something special. If he stays disciplined, stays focused, and keeps believing in God and everything, he's going to be something special, man. Like, the guy can really hit hard, too. He doesn't have 20 knockouts for no reason. I just feel like he's too cocky. He thinks that he's cleared out the division, and he has not. And if you're going to clear out the division, you got to do what Manny and what Floyd Mayweather's been doing for the past 7, 8, 9 years to get that super crazy credit that everybody's giving him so far right now. He's not Floyd Mayweather. He never will be. I don't believe he can become 40-0, but maybe he can prove me wrong, I know he's from the Midwest, and the Midwest has a lot of boxers that's coming out now that really, are shocking or showing people that Midwest have a lot of good boxers, I really want to see him face somebody at 135 that's credible. Like he said, Brandon Rios he wants to face, just nothing but big names. Antonio DeMarco, that would be a great fight. You want to know why? Brandon Rios comes forward, he's aggressive, and he really dictates the action a lot. So it'd be nice to see Brandon Rios go against a boxer, puncher like Adrien Broner, pure boxer puncher like Adrien Broner, and then Brandon Rios is just aggressive, guerrero, and he comes forward, he throws a lot of punches, and he's very accurate with his punches as well. So it would be, a crazy styles make fights, it'd just be a really, really good fight because of their styles. And whoever imposed their style win the fight, of course. I just want to see him get tested. I want to see what his chin is like. Every great boxer gets hit really, really hard. I want to see how does he respond. Because he got touched up a little bit, even though Vicente Escobedo in the beginning rounds was jabbing him and finding success with that jab and throwing left and right hooks to the body. So I see he can be hit to the body. I see if you got a really good double jab, you can land at least one of them. Only thing I want to see is, can he handle somebody that has footwork and side-to-side movement, somebody that's really aggressive and turns him and doesn't let him dictate the action. I want to see what can he do when he goes through adversity. That's what makes you, a great fighter, a great boxer. Another thing I would like to throw out there is, Vicente Escobedo, he had problems before the fight anyway. You could tell that he was very emotional, about to cry and whatnot. And you guys need to lay off of him, man. Don't sit up here and talk shit. He has heart just to come in the ring, just to come from his hometown, just to come to another person's hometown to box in front of a hostile crowd in Cincinnati, Ohio. Escobedo is no pussy. He's a guerrero. He comes to fight every fight. He fought Robert Guerrero in a great fight. He beat Joaquin Rojas. So, the guy can really box. It's just, he's a former Olympian, but it really doesn't matter when somebody has that superior skill like Broner. He even said in the 4th round, man, this guy's just too slick. And then it was just crazy that Adrien Broner said in this corner, man, I see something. I'm going to walk him down. And that really shows his confidence, his will to win. And that's what's going to take him far in the sport. Adrien Broner is here to stay. I would love to see him, like I said, face somebody that's credible and that's ready to box. I want to see him face Gamboa, even though he said Gamboa who. He knows who Gamboa is. He knows he's a Olympic gold medalist and he comes to fight. And the guy is a guerrero. He has, he's a warrior. He has power, speed, and everything, athleticism is matching right up there with the problem. So he is the problem right now, at least for 130, even though he has not faced more people to have the title at 130. And it was just crazy that it was kind of unprofessional that he didn't make 130, but you gotta understand, like I said, at least he kept it running and said, hey, my body's just not reacting to 130 anymore. That's why I went to 133. Well, I tried my hardest and I got the 133.5. And he really said, I really don't care about making weight. That was just his first time, so I wouldn't give him such a hard time with that. Yeah, he was at 147 pounds, which is crazy that he still had his speed and his agility and everything, but it is what it is. Escobedo wasn't that far off. He's only, I think he was 142, 43, so it wasn't like it was an unfair fight. Escobedo was a taller man anyway, so really doesn't matter. Yeah, but like I said once before, the Vicente Escobedo, don't call him a pussy or nothing. At least he got in there and fought, and he gave a valiant effort. In the 5th round when he got stopped, when they threw the towel in, it was a good move. Joel Diaz is a good trainer. He knows what he's doing in there, and he sees that he wasn't ready to continue. So, give him credit for that. And at least he came there to fight. Yeah, he cried after the fight or whatever, said he missed his babies and his wife or whatever, but it is what it is. Like I said, back on top of Adrien Broner. Hopefully, I think he's going to fight at the end of this year or early 2013. I'll keep you guys updated. And you guys tell me what you think about this fight in the comment section below. It was a great fight. Great night of fights. Did you see Keith Thurman? One-time Thurman. This guy is amazing. He had, I think, 15 knockouts, 16 wins. Now he's at I think, something like that, or 17 wins, 18 knockouts, something like that. That's amazing. It's like 90 or 95% knockout ratio. This guy is something special. He can box. I did not know he can box. I never watched him fight before. I just heard him talk a lot of shit. Heard his people talk a lot of shit, and HBO hype him up. So I'm like, I'm going to see if he's good. So I watched it. This guy was hanging in there with somebody who had pressure, that Mexican pressure. He was coming forward. That dude was throwing a lot of punches to Lara, and he caught him with just a flush left hook, and he finished the job. And he has a lot of swag in the ring, man. This guy can really box, and he can punch really, really hard. And the knockouts are, they're not for play. He really does have one-punch knockout power. I would love to see him with anybody at 140, 47 pounds. He looked like he was a 154-pounder, but it is what it is. Great night of boxing. Who do you think Adrien Broner should fight next? And do you think he's going to fight Brandon Rios, Antonio DeMarco at 135? Hank Lundy would be a wonderful fight. They can have that on the East Coast somewhere probably, because he's from Philly, Hank Lundy, and Adrien Broner is from Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. So that'll be a great fight. Let me think. Who else is there? Oh, he said you'll face Marquez. If Marquez can come back down to 135, that'll be a great fight. So it's a lot of people. Even Richard Abril, the Cuban, that would be a great tactical fight. Styles make fights. That'd be good, man. But you guys tell me what you think. I'm not going to, let this video go any longer. It's about 13 minutes. So you guys tell me what you think. And this is Amp. Peace.